Just like that, we back again. Just if you new to the channel, subscribe before you do anything, before you comment, before you even share it. I need you to subscribe. 76% of y'all is not subscribed to the channel. And to further ado, let's get to it. Yeah.
I started this shit brick by brick. It's my shit. Ownership over all these motherfuckers.
I just want the Benjamins, no new friends. I just put it in Chanel like I'm a man. Okay, let's go. This ain't just some pesos for haters, okay. Youngins finna shoot when I say so, okay. And I got your girl, she never say no, no way. And she gon' eat the team, but we all scream hooray.
Hey, what's on YouTube? It's your boy, it's just BJ, and I'm back with another reaction. Today we got Rarest torture methods in human history by Mr. Knowledge. You feel me? So we gonna get right to it. You feel me? Let me see.
Let's get straight to it. The music and psychological operations. I want you to imagine being put into a dark room with a large speaker in it, and all you hear is Eminem blasting through the speaker on repeat. Although this sounds comical, this is actually a real torture method used by the CIA. Eminem songs wasn't the only songs they played to torture people. In fact, here are a few of the songs they used to torture. First on the list is the freaking theme song for Barney and Friends, no kidding. They also used the Britney Spears song Baby One More Time and a few Eminem songs like Kim and White America. They seem to use a lot more Eminem songs to torture people than others. I wonder why.
Using way too many napkins, papkins, lapkins and chapkins. You use the chapstick and napkin.
All jokes aside, the music...
Bro, imagine you in the room, bro, that nigga hit you with that. I'm just ready. I'm just voming on the sweater already. Mosh spaghetti. Bro, imagine. Bro, imagine hearing it over and over and over. Man.
It was a form of no-touch torture method that was very effective in causing discomfort to those experiencing it. The detainees would be kept in complete darkness in isolated cells, and loud noise or music would be turned on to make them appear disoriented, frightened, and in a state of shock. The rack. Think of a square wooden frame. Now imagine your body being placed in that wooden frame. You're slightly elevated above the ground, and your wrists are attached to a roller at the top of the wooden frame, and your ankles are attached to a roller at the bottom of the wooden frame. Now, what would happen to your body if, I don't know, we move these two rollers apart as far as possible with your limbs attached? Let's just say you'll get the best and last stretch of your life. Used Now, what would happen to your body if, I don't know, we move these two rollers apart as far as possible with your limbs attached? Let's just say you'll get the best and last stretch of your life.
Who in the hell? Nah, psychopath.
Used at the Tower of London during the 15th century, the yeoman warders who worked at the tower used the rack to pull on ropes tied to a victim's wrist and ankles. This stretched the human body, causing the joints and limbs to file a divorce with each other. Skevington's daughter. Also known as the scavenger's daughter, it served an opposite function to the rack. If you know how the python behaves around its prey, then this one should be regarded as the worst. Instead of stretching the victim to look like a long pole as in the case of a rack, this device compresses the victim until their ribs, chest, or spine is dislocated. The victim would be placed under an iron hoop, which was able to be slowly compressed until the victim either confessed or died. But honestly, who would have survived this ordeal? It's even said that the victims often had blood shot out of their eyes and nostrils from the intense compression. Yes, you can say they were under a lot of pressure.
Really, nigga?
Judas Cradle.
Who the hell is come up with these things, bro? What answers you trying to get out of this man so bad? What did he do? Nah, seriously, what did he do? Oh, you gotta be a psychopath to even, you feel? My nigga.
Yeah, bro, you're supposed to sit on that.
The Judas,
Also
bruh.
known as the Judas chair, this torture device was in the form of a 3-legged stool with a pointed top or a 4-legged bench with a slanted triangular top. Usually, the victim would be stripped naked and forced to sit on top of the chair. While that might appear a bit discomforting from their unfortunate sitting position, the pointed sharp edge of the chair was often oiled up and lubricated to allow for smoother entry of the spiked top. And as if that was not enough, the victims will have pressure applied to their legs, typically in form of weights pulling them down.
Bruh.
Even though this torture method was frequently used during the medieval ages,
Bruh. What were they trying to do back then? Like, I don't understand.
the victims would often experience a certain type of excruciating pain that only Satan understood, and many died as a result of excessive blood loss when vital organs had been reached. Chinese water torture. The victim would often be sat in a dark room or laid down as a container with water is above them. Constantly, the person's forehead would be hit by a drop of water at a time. This honestly seems like a cakewalk, but it's not. This is a form of psychological torture that quite literally was enough to send a person into a state of intellectual instability.
Is she texting someone behind your back? A single Spokio search can help you find out who she's...
While it might sound a little too easy for anyone to take, it was actually feared.
What are these people doing that y'all putting them in torture situations? These people must be the top criminals of Earth. Lubricant spike butt. Lubricant spike butt? Really? Then you got this little thing where you psychologically trick them as if you drowning them, but you're not. So you put them in that static shock. Like, what?
By most people during the medieval ages. While each individual drop may not cause pain, the
bruh,
repetitive
all I gotta see, just kill me. It ain't all that.
nature of the
Just
droplets
kill
can
me,
lead
bruh.
to extreme discomfort, anxiety, and stress over time. The idea behind this form of torture was to actually exploit the psychological impact of monotony and anticipation, making it a deadly mental torment to the victims. It is crazy how the anticipation of each drop can F you up mentally, and Lord knows where the water source was coming from. Iron spider or breast ripper. Well, it says it in the name. Sorry for all my lady viewers. The breast ripper, also known as the forbidden mommy suckers, is a historical instrument associated with the medieval and early modern periods. Quite brutal, it was specifically designed to mutilate and torture women. Typically, it consisted of a metal claw or pincer with sharp pointed spikes. The victim's breasts would be clamped between the spikes, and sometimes the device was heated before application just to increase the pain. The claws could then be tightened to cause severe injuries. If you were found committing any of these crimes back in the medieval ages, adultery, heresy, or witchcraft, just go on ahead and give your breast an eviction notice. Pendulum torture. Now, this form of torture hasn't been formally brought out into existence. You can say this form of torture got stuck in the brainstorm or blueprint process. I still wanted to mention it. Most prominent in literature, movies, and horror stories, the pendulum torture satisfies to be one of the brutal torture methods. Also known as the pendulum of doom, the idea of this form of torture is often associated with Edgar Allan Poe's short story, The Pit and Pendulum, published in 1842. In the story, the protagonist is sentenced to death during the Spanish Inquisition and finds himself strapped to a table with a pendulum swinging above him. The pendulum gradually descends, and the character fears being sliced like a bread into halves. Imagine looking up.
Torture. You might as well just kill a man at this point. I'm not understanding. Is it made to torture or kill? I thought torture was torture, like cutting off a few little limbs, make sure the person didn't die. This is murder. They're making power machine that kills. Nah, bro, just kill me, bro.
And just seeing it slowly creep down to you. The anticipation might be worse than the actual slicing. The Pear of Anguish. Invented sometime back in the 1600s, this extortion device was practically used to extract confessions from victims. The device could often be inserted into one's mouth and then slowly opened, expanding the pair to the point of unhinging or breaking the jaw. They also used it for your anus, extending it beyond measure.
Nah. Bro, they were just making stuff, son. I swear they were just making stuff. Like, who in the... Like, what?
Sure. If one doesn't confess or open up the truth, then they'd lose their jaws, and not only that, they would also lack the ability to ever chew or drink any meal in the rest of their lifetime. Oh, and sitting may also be a problem.
I eat pears now and shit like that. Shout out to all the pear.
Heretic's Fork. Another truth-extracting device, the Heretic's Fork, was one deadly punishment tool that not only pierced your chin and sternum, but also denied the victims cannot ever speak or sleep again without experiencing excruciating pain. Used mainly in Spain, the device was fixed between the jaw and the chests of many victims. Both ends of the fork were pronged, and one end would pierce under the chin, while the other pierced under the sternum. The length of the fork was also adjusted intermittently to make sure that the victim's head was tilted back, making the punishment even more tiresome for the one experiencing it. If the victim didn't confess, he or she was tortured in typically worse fashions and eventually executed. For those who did confess, they'd be left to receive the pleasure of still being tortured for being a filthy heretic. The Roman Candle. I would name it as one of the worst forms of punishment since it involved the victim being barbecued alive. The Roman candle was a form of punishment where someone would be tied to a stake and then smeared with pitch and oil, and then burned to death, starting from the feet and up to the head. The victim would then be left to die a very slow and painful death as the raging fire grappled its way out from his feet. Sometimes the victims would be used as decorative lights for some of Nero's celebrations and events at that time, but that's another story. White Room Torture. Strictly one of the most feared forms of psychological torture methods, White Room Torture is one that I wouldn't wish on any person. Something interesting about this torture method is that everything the victim interacts with is white. All the way from the white room he's been put in, the food he eats, and even the clothing is all white. To make matters worse, the victim will never see darkness while in that room, and there's always one bright light that makes sure everything stays white. Quite often, the victims are left with nothing but their thoughts, no color, no noise, no stimulation, or anything that might seem destructive to their thoughts. This extreme sensory deprivation always left the victim mentally ill.
I'll probably lose my mind. I'll probably get dementia. Cause why? Why are you placing me in a room full of white? White pillows, white bed, white food. The only white food I can think of is rice. You just feed me rice. No seasoning? And I bet they just give me plain rice without seasoning because it's all white. Oh, just throw a little salt on the side. I'm not even going to know it's there because it's white. You feel bro, just killed me, bro.
Most of them would experience depressions, hallucinations, and even loss of consciousness. If the victim survived this menace, they'd be hit with madness, or if not so, some would simply take their own lives to end this torture. The Swedish drink. The Swedish drink, also known as the forbidden smoothie, is just a drink with urine, rotten food, feces, vomit, and any other deplorable foul liquid you could think of. Victims of this would be forced to drink all of this as a form of punishment. And what's even more funny is there are freaks out there who do this willingly in today's time. Now, I'm not knocking someone else's fetish, but if you've ever seen the disgusting viral video 2 Girls 1 Cup, you know what I mean.
Ugh. Brother, ugh.
And what's even more funny is people in jail use something similar to the Swedish drink as a defense mechanism. Rather than force someone to drink ungodly liquids, they stuff it into a spray bottle and threaten other inmates with these weapons, which are often called Glock dookies.
Glock dookies in that bitch. Motherfucker, pull up on your ass with a Glock dookie, rob you. Glock dookie in front of graves, toothpaste. That bitch got in it, shaving cream, all type of shit.
The barrel of pillory. First of all, before we crackle down on this,
my guy, why? Why y'all going around putting shit in bottles and spraying, shooting shit at people? Y'all lost it, my brothers. Y'all lost it.
I want you to take
in it, shaving cream, all type of shit.
He's dead ass. He done that before. Oh, phone down.
What's their
Motherfucker,
Facebook?
walk-
The barrel of pillory. First of all, before we crackle down on this, I want you to take note of two important terms here: pillory and the barrel pillory. While these two might look different, they actually have the same goal on the victims. Pillory consisted of a wooden or metal framework with holes for securing a person's head and hands. The individual would be placed in the pillory, while their head and hands would be immobilized, exposing them to public view and ridicule. On the other hand, barrel pillory was a type of pillory that resembled a barrel. It consisted of a large barrel with holes for the person's head and hands. The person's head and hands would protrude through the openings, exposing them to public scorn, ridicule, and humiliation. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk, and remember, knowledge is power.
Knowledge.
Oh, so there y'all have it. That was rare torture methods. Give y'all. Yeah, I don't understand why they were doing that, but just kill me. Just kill me, cause no way in hell. No way in hell I'm being put in that situation at all. I'm not smiling. No, I'm serious. Anyway, though, that's all for the video today. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe until the next reaction. And I'm gonna be posting daily. You feel? Until next time, I'm out. Stop looking at me and go get something to eat.
Let go, total let go. It's a cash show.